The message I have for the collective is that a lantern is useless without its light. Let's have a look at the cards. For many of you, there is a feeling here that you were meant to lead, but right now you're hiding, staying in the dark, pleasing, and playing it safe. Your soul came here with a lantern in hand, but it has no light because you've forgotten your path. And the message I'm getting here from Spirit is that this is for someone who's meant to lead, but somehow they're following. So let's take a deep dive into what's going on here. You're in a situation involving your home, land, business, or some other type of real estate property. There's a lack of accountability here. So someone's avoiding responsibility here for something. There's modesty and guilt here. So I'm getting a feeling of playing small, but feeling guilty for wanting more. But your soul lesson or your destiny in this life is to explore, expand, travel, seek the truth, and grow. You're meant to step up, but you're shrinking down. You've kept quiet in a home or property issue, stayed in your comfort zone, felt guilty for wanting out or wanting more. But karma is calling your soul. It wants movement, freedom, truth-seeking. You're meant to explore, but you're stuck. So who are you, and what's your life all about? Well, at your core, you have the praying mantis card, which means that you bring to earth the energy of wisdom. You're a philosopher, a spiritual guide, a quiet sage. You were born to seek the truth and to share it. And this card connects beautifully with your soul lesson here, which is all about expansion and truth. So you have exactly what you need for this soul journey. For your life purpose, you have the card of law and order, which means that you agreed to be of service to others by upholding moral and legal laws. Spirit placed you here to teach boundaries, accountability, and self-respect. You came here to set standards, to help others grow with responsibility, and your soul signed up to teach personal truth. So how are you showing up in the world right now? And where are you going off track? Right now, you're not living from your inner wisdom. You're living from fear, which is the reason for your silence, staying in the background. You're giving away your power, and you're not leading with light. You're the bringer of truth, the one who is supposed to expose it with light. But you're avoiding responsibility, and you're not doing this. And so, by you not holding yourself accountable, you're also not holding others accountable. Morally, you were meant to be fair, not just liked. And you were meant to lead, not follow. And this is keeping you out of alignment with your soul's purpose. The helper in you wants to be liked. So you say yes when you mean no. You stay in places or with people who you've outgrown just to feel needed. Your rising sign in Capricorn makes you come across to others as very controlling and cold without emotions. So this creates emotional shutdown, and then you hold the reins so tightly that there's no space for change. And with your moon sign in Pisces, you feel very deeply. You're a natural rescuer, and so you avoid conflict by pleasing people. With your Mars sign in Aquarius, this makes you crave change. You want to take action and break free, do things differently, your way. But with your Mercury sign in Taurus, this makes you think about safety first, and so you resist change and rather stick with what you know. So you're caught in a kind of tug of war here. Stay comfortable and please others, or break free and be true to yourself. You think you're being kind, but actually you're avoiding the truth. You think you're being stable and secure, but really you're stuck. And you think you're following your heart, but in truth, you're following fear. You know, I'm very much reminded here of someone who avoids looking in the mirror because they're afraid of the reflection they might see. So what's your personal path back to happiness? Well, because your soul lesson in this life is all about expansion, truth, freedom, and adventure, it means that that's where you're going. And that's the direction you should be taking in life. And so living and behaving like this is your path to happiness. And the way I like to think of it is that we get a chance to practice our soul lesson in different ways, each area of our life, kind of like mini training grounds, helping your soul grow into who you're meant to be. So let's see what messages Spirit has for you here. So you have Taurus in the area of life that deals with real estate, which means that you need to stay committed towards your soul lesson of expansion, truth, freedom, and adventure. Stay loyal to this. Don't get sidetracked. And you can be stable and adventurous at the same time. Happiness for you lies in building a foundation that supports movement, not one that traps you and holds you back. Work steadily, but don't let your comfort zone become your cage. Your soul needs freedom to grow, and you can build roots and still have wings at the same time. So now you know what path to take. Let's have a look at your biggest challenge on that path. Your biggest challenge is your need to be liked, to feel needed, and to win approval. You have the card of the mother hen here. And the mother hen is a really loving, kind energy. But when stressed, this energy can actually turn into a negative and become something else. During stressful times, you show up as helpful, but deep down, it's to feel important, valued, and loved. When you don't get approval from others, or you don't feel valued or appreciated, you get hurt, frustrated, and you meet others with a passive-aggressive tendency. Or worse, bossy and emotionally manipulative. This is where self-importance can be disguised as service or helping others, or martyrdom can be disguised as, look how much I've done for you, now you owe me. And your soul lesson says that you're here to expand, explore, and step into your truth. But the mother hen in you keeps you trapped in the nest and in your comfort zone. Instead of serving your own soul journey, you end up serving everybody else's journey. And you lose track of your own direction. So your biggest spiritual block for you right now is that you fear others being angry with you or not liking you. And so you do everything you can to prevent that. So how do you heal this? Fix this? And how do you get back on track and stay on track? When you feel lost, stuck, or burnt out, it's not because you're failing or that you've done anything wrong. It's because you've drifted off course from your soul's contract. Your soul lesson is your guiding light and what your soul chose to learn in this lifetime. And so if you want peace, purpose, alignment, or happiness, this is where your compass must always point to. So why is this important for our own karma? Karma is our spiritual accountability checkpoint. It's about who we are and the soul contracts we signed up for in this life. And most importantly, it's about the way we are or are not fulfilling those contracts, and the rewards or the consequences we must face for that. Karma is not punishment. It's a spiritual teacher, showing us where we need to improve and grow. It's our energetic imprint that we've left behind by previous choices we've made, lifetime after lifetime. Once we accept responsibility and accountability for our actions, by really looking at ourselves openly and honestly, only then can we heal things and change things. Because we focus our improvement on doing things differently, by aligning with our higher self, higher values, and being who we came here to be, and doing what we came here to do. And so, in order to move on and transform your life, it's important to accept that sometimes you've used helping as a way to stay in your comfort zone, and that you often say yes when you mean no. You tell people what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear, and that you've lost yourself being there for others all the time, even at the expense of your own needs. And because of this, you've ignored your own soul contract, and you've avoided your own accountability. Remember, karma is all about our intentions. So even if we're doing good deeds, it's not the deed that's judged by karma, it's the intention behind it. So if we're doing something good to get out of doing something that we don't want to be doing, or that we should be doing, then the good thing doesn't count, at least not in karma's eyes. Because we can't pick and choose what we want to do. We have to honor what we agreed to do. So what's your next step? As the wise praying mantis, you've been dimming your light to keep others happy all the time. But what if your light is the very light that they've been waiting to follow? The message here from Spirit is very clear. It's time to lead, to speak your truth, to be accountable. Start by saying no when you mean no, and setting limits and boundaries when others want too much. Because right now, the world needs your contribution, your light, your wisdom, and your leadership. But that light doesn't shine when it's burnt out from doing too much for others. So remember that a lantern is useless without its light.